Hey everyone, this is Roachan here. Today I'm going to be doing the shield bash jumps for Brigitte on Eichenwalde. I'm going to be going in order from the attacker's very first spawn all the way through to the defender's final spawn. So the first one is just outside the attacker's spawn. You shield bash into this little bastion and you get launched up onto the higher ground. Here's another point of view of what that shield bash could look like. From this spot you can also shield bash onto the higher ground just next to the enemy spawn, and either block people into the enemy spawn, or if that's your spawn, then you can just enter that spawn. You can also shield bash your way back across from the spawn to this high ground. Next up are these little bins at the first choke point. You can shield bash into them and you can get a little bit of height from them, but you just can't seem to get enough height to actually reach the top of the bridge. I'll keep trying and hopefully it's something that you can do, and maybe it's just really hard to do so. You can also shield bash off from the top of the bridge onto the attacker's high ground, and you can engage whatever sort of sniper is up here, but on the way back it's not high enough for you to actually get back across. You can shield bash into this little car and jump up onto the stairs, and you can shield bash from these two high grounds. There's also this little wall that if you shield bash into it, you can jump back across the wall, whether you're on the attacking team wanting to stop the defending team, or if you're on the defending team trying to regroup with the rest of your team. You can also shield bash into these blocks next to the wall and shield bash back across and land on the point. You can shield bash off this little tank thing and land possibly on the payload, but if you do it the other way around, you can't actually shield bash onto the stairs. There's these blocks in the corner next to the stairs where if you shield bash on a diagonal, you can't actually get enough height. But if you shield bash into them facing the cliff, you'll get enough height to jump up. Here's another point of view of what it could look like. There's also these blocks there, also at the front of this little castle thing, where if you shield bash on the right angle, you can get up. Next up, if you shield bash into these blocks on the side, you can land on this wooden platform. And if you shield bash on more on an angle facing the roof, you can get up on the roof. You can also shield bash into these corner blocks and land on the wooden platform across, or you can shield bash back across from there and get up here. You can also shield bash off the blocks of this wall. It is really hard to do, and I did fail it so many times. And you can also do it from the other side of that wall and get up, but again, that is also really hard to do. You can also shield bash off that little high ground and land on the payload when it comes through the gate. You can shield bash into the payload and attack whatever sniper is on that little wooden platform. You can shield bash into this bastion and land on the high ground. Here's another point of view of what it'll look like for others, and this is what it'll look like if, let's say, a sniper was up there. You can also do the reverse, but I will tell you, it's not the same as Overwatch 1, and the new shield bash makes you fail it so much. You can shield bash off this car and land on the platform down the bottom. You can shield bash off the stairs and over the gap, landing on the bridge, as well as shield bashing into this little corner area to land on the stairs, and you don't even have to be on the stairs to shield bash across. Just aim for this higher wall on the left side rather than the lower one, because if you shield bash into the lower one, this could be you. You can also shield bash from this little entrance here onto the payload. Here's what it'll look like from the payload's point of view. You can also shield bash back across and ambush anyone trying to get through, or if you know there's a hog there trying to get a sneaky hook, you can whip shot them off the edge. You can also shield bash off here and land on that platform and jump down, or shield bash into these blocks and land on the platform down below. And here's another view of what it'll look like. You can get up on these platforms by shield bashing. If you don't do it on the right angle, you might just have to climb manually, or you'll go too high and be vulnerable. And this is what it looks like when done right. Now in the final area, you can jump up on the stool and then the little cabinets and shield bash your way up here. The next spot is these little monitors. You can't shield bash directly across, but if you just stand on this little monitor and then jump where you're somewhat sliding off the big monitors, you can shield bash across. You can also shield bash into Reinhardt's friend and get up onto the higher ground. I know it's disrespectful. It is really hard to do, and I'm still trying to get better at it myself. This is what it looks like when it's done correctly.